is New Day Northwest. Now, here's Margaret Larson.
Good morning, everybody. First up on New Day, we are cooking up a staff favorite. The team recently received a gift basket with a delicious package of plantain chips, and we just had to know more about them. So to show us how they're made from the restaurant Marjorie on Seattle's Capitol Hill, please welcome Chef Donna Moodie. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you.
You're here. The restaurant is named after your mom?
It is. The restaurant is named after my mother, Marjorie, and when I was growing up, kind of in between Jamaica and the south side of Chicago, my mom frequently had dinner parties, entertained quite a bit, and was just one of those people that read cookbooks instead of novels, and just was constantly entertaining, talking about food, loving food, making things from scratch.
So a lot of those have filtered into the restaurant menu.
Yeah.
These are just delicious. They're amazing. So let's start with, in case anybody doesn't know, what is a plantain?
So a plantain is in the banana family. It's a little larger. It's fibrous. When green, it's a savory item, so more like a vegetable. Very high in potassium, vitamin K, vitamin D, so really good for after a workout. And what I love about these is you can get them ripe and they're sweet, but like this, they're savory and sprinkled with a little spice. They're a perfect like alternative to cracker, a snack chip, great with dips. Just
delicious.
You kind of, they're addictive.
Oh, yes, that's what the staff decided, and so we thought we'd have you here to tell us how this all comes together.
Excellent.
So how are these made?
So it's a fairly laborious process. I don't know that I would recommend it at home, but I'm going to show you how should you want to make them at home.
And you do it, of course, in an industrial process. We're just kind of downsizing it so we can see what it's like.
And I will say it's industrial, but they're made by hand. So it's our industrial process is more that we have commercial kitchen equipment and size. I always put gloves on whenever I deal with plantains because, as we all have noticed, at the end of the day, your hands are almost like stained with the black patina that's in the bananas. And they're also very, when they're green, much harder to peel.
Okay,
so
well,
it's
that's
kind of
a good tip
a little
even
bit
for
of
at home.
Yeah, a little bit of a labor of love. So what we always do is score them. And what I often will do is just cut the top off, cut the bottom off, and then we score it with maybe 1, 2, or 3 little peels into the skin, and you can kind of see how difficult that is to peel through. Yeah, it's definitely thick and a little challenging. And then what you want to do is kind of get in there with the knife. And once you do that, you can often just kind of peel it off.
Oh my gosh, and you guys have to do this for every single plantain?
We do.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're thinking that when we go really big, we're going to find a created item that's going to make this easier.
Yeah, or you're going to have to be like Amazon and hire 15,000 people to peel plantains.
Yeah, when we build our plantain nation, that's the plan.
Exactly. I'm in, I know that.
So then they're like this, and then there's several different ways people can do them. What we do at the restaurant is slice them really thin. At home, you could do it on a mandolin. Some people also will be wondering right away about the thicker ones. Those are called tostones, very popular in Latin American culture, Caribbean culture. They're always sliced thicker, lightly fried, pulled out, smashed, salted, and then fried again.
Oh my goodness.
So there's lots of different ways you can have them, and I will notice a lot of people from the Caribbean or from South America come in and compare recipes with me at the restaurant. So it's kind of a fun process. I decided not to bring in our big commercial slicer, but I can tell you that this is what they look like when they're sliced.
It's a thin, long slice.
Thin,
so
long
you don't
slices.
do them in the little chips. You do them in the long.
And a big part of where that comes from is my mother, Marjorie, was despite cooking a lot, very elegant. And when I decided to package the plantains, I knew that it was really important that the box be really beautiful, that the chips not be like broken and like, snack chips, but really more elegant, kind of like my mom was.
Well, that's a wonderful tribute to her. Plus, you can get more toppings on them this way, which is very important.
So what we do at that point is drop them into oil, and the oil has to be really hot.
This
and
might not be, but at least we can see the process. We can just see the process. So would it normally sizzle when they go in? It normally
sizzles a little, and you can tell that these aren't going to sizzle that much because the oil isn't super hot, but we can leave them in there and see what happens.
How long do you have to
We do them usually for about 8 to 10 minutes, and our oil is at 375. If you were going to try this at home, they have those really great countertop fryers. I think that you could actually do it. The one thing is you'd have to be really careful slicing because the thinner they are, the better. And also,
that's kind of hard on a mandolin doing it the long way, right?
It's a pretty laborious process.
Grief, I'm starting to really appreciate
We kind
these
of have it
things.
down to a science, and one of the things I like too, it's a great hostess gift. So sometimes if you're going to a house, particularly if someone's gluten-free, great thing to bring and just say,
Wonderful.
you know, look what we brought.
And just so healthful and different. So
Yeah.
let's talk about some of the things. First of all, can we see one of the packages?
yeah,
Because they are
absolutely.
really cool. They're all stacked up so you can see that they're intact and that they just look delicious right through the little window there. And the trick is to serve them appropriately. So let's
Yeah.
talk about some of the things you can do with these.
Absolutely, and one of the things I like to do with them too is I like to serve them warm. So a lot of times what we'll do is just heat them right before serving. And then
delish.
I have a sample of 3 dips here. I also brought a little cheese because a lot of people forget about that because you think of it as a chip. They go really great with soft cheeses, brie, camembert. I'm especially a big fan of Delice de Bourgogne. It's a really creamy, like triple cream French brie.
I'm thinking goat cheese too.
Goat cheese is great, and even with goat cheese you can flavor it a little bit or add some herbs to it that
my
will complement it. Right now we have a beet hummus, a pico de gallo, and a black bean dip.
Wow.
And those are all super simple. One of the things that my mom did was she loved sharing recipes. So all of the recipes we actually post on our website.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah, I just feel like it's an easy way to entertain. And that's the whole idea of this, is to make
Do you have a
entertaining
favorite?
easier. I'm kind of a big fan of guacamole, which I thought I might go over a little bit on how to make. It's fairly simple, but the way we do it I think is really nice.
Okay, why don't I taste while you start
Okay,
the
that
guacamole?
sounds great.
I want to try the black beans. My husband grew up in Costa Rica, and there's a lot of fried plantains with
Yeah.
black beans and rice, and it's just delicious.
That's
that
what I
looks
really
good.
love about them too. There's a cross-cultural thing that I notice a lot at the restaurant. We'll have people from African countries, South America, Latin America, the Caribbean, and almost all of them have had an experience with plantain. So that makes it really fun.
A good experience.
I'm gonna reach
Well,
over
It's hard to
and
have a
grab
bad
a spoon.
experience. That's the one I licked.
Thanks. Then we won't use that one.
Just in case.
But one of the things that we do that makes it a little easier,
That's
and
so
this is
good.
just kind of like a home tip, I don't necessarily have that here, but you know cooling racks that you use
Yep.
for cakes and cookies and things like that? Sometimes we'll take the avocados, peel them, put them in a big bowl, especially if you're having a big party, and then we just press them through the cooling racks.
Oh, to get
And
them the right texture.
Yeah, and it makes it still like a little chunky, but not overly chunky.
Oh, that's a good idea.
and
Those
then
babies can just go straight in the dishwasher after, so
Exactly.
that's no big deal.
and it makes it easy. It's like a little kind of less messy. And then, so we do avocado, a little bit of onion, which I'll slice, a little bit of cilantro. Right here, fresh cilantro is a really
That's
nice addition.
important.
A little bit of lime, which also helps it from turning brown. We always put a little bit of salt in, so I'll do that.
So you sell the plantain chips. Do you sell the dips as well?
We don't sell the dips. We do.
Is that the next step?
You know,
Please
it's
tell me yes.
It's a next step that we've been thinking about. Another thing we do, we cater a lot of parties, and we always do plantains, and we always do dips with the plantains. Some people will even come in and just get a basket of plantains with the dips for different events. So we've done that quite a bit over the last few years.
All right, we've introduced you to Marjorie's. Don't forget, this is a place you definitely need to go. Thank you
Oh,
so
you are
much.
so welcome.
And a bonus for everybody in today's live audience, Donna is sending you all home with a pack of her delicious plantain chips, so you get to try them. Trust me, these are so good. Thank you again.
Oh, it was such a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Don't stop on the guacamole. Don't
Okay.
let me stop you. Up next,
Okay.
are you looking for a new job? We've got a list of the top interview mistakes so you can do your best and overcome those. We'll be right back.
This New Day cooking segment brought to you by Ferguson Bath Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, powered by Electrolux.